What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gamer Dad channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let's talk Division 2. The developers brought out their FAQ and talked about how they wanted to go ahead and revamp the repetitive seasonal model that has basically been in the game. I told many of you that this has always been a huge concern for me, and I never paid for any of the season models. Even the one that was given to us free at Warlords of New York, that one was the last one that I played. That first season, played it, never spent the $9 for the repetitive mission content. I remember talking about it back in the day, and people were like, it's just $9. It's not really a big deal. I mean, it was my opinion, and I, basically said, well, I'm not paying for it. Feel free to do whatever you want to do with your own funds. What's going on right now is also evidence about something that I felt has always been the biggest problem with the Division as well, the lack of crossplay, or at least cross-save functionality. Now, if you look at this FAQ that they actually put here, it's just really interesting how this seasonal character and non-seasonal character thing, falls into place. Because one very interesting piece is lacking and it's missing, and I continue to push for this in many YouTube videos, many discussion videos over the years where this game was out, and it didn't necessarily seem like something that was on the priority for the community, because I feel like a lot of their changes would probably have landed much softer. I guess I'll put it that way. Would probably have landed much softer if perhaps the developers had, say, a crossplay or cross-save functionality. See what's going on here right now, ladies and gentlemen, with this seasonal model. There's something missing across the board with the community's capability to be able to, pull through and pull each other through a lot of content pieces. When they had put a lot of these incursions and a lot of these raids and a lot of these, pieces of content into the game, it was mostly the community that kind of rallied together to make it enjoyable. Even though these content pieces were hard, the logistics were weird, everything was all over the place. Like, remember the first raid, both the raids, you cannot do matchmaking, but the incursion, you can do matchmaking. And then they added the matchmaking for the, discovery raid and all of these different weird decisions that were made. I continue to say that the developers should have implemented this even in the game. The developers over at Bungie, mid-development, mid-life cycle of the game, as they were leaving Activision, they instituted it. It was so weird because I had, everyone has like a copy of Destiny somewhere. And yes, you may have to maybe buy the DLC on, all platforms in order for you to be able to enjoy it on whichever platform you fire up. But they were able to make their Destiny, players say, hey, man, you can merge at least 2 accounts. Most Division agents have more than one Division account. And so I think this would have probably allowed or helped for their characters to be able to, across the board, engage with different communities of players, be able to make progress regardless, and not worry about that. Because right now, if you think about, say, the way seasonal characters will work, maybe even on the PC platform, the PC platform doesn't have as many players active right now as, say, PlayStation. And the Xbox, in my opinion, I wouldn't know, but I would just guess based on numbers and based on the way both platforms have the majority of players in, say, PlayStation first right now, a PC second. I would think Xbox is, on the third side of things. So if you're an Xbox player, maybe you want to do a seasonal character, maybe you want to matchmake and run stuff with other people. If you're not in a dedicated clan, you're basically at a, in my opinion anyways, you're on the back foot. So little things like these would have allowed for their visions to thrive in terms of how they wanted to make these changes to the game, but these things are not necessarily there. And so I strongly believe that the developers are in this very strange position where they're trying to do some stuff that they think is good. However, the groundwork for it has not necessarily been laid for them to be able to go ahead and do it. Another thing too is introducing these new characters right now, to me also seemed, for most people anyways, just seemed like a last ditch effort. Now, I've said, I'm fine with it to try it out. I want to see what it's about. But again, they've run multiple seasons, without having to go ahead and do this. Like, if you look at this question, it's very interesting. People are asking, what is the main point of keeping your main character if you can't use them for 90% of future content coming to the game? The answer is we've taken measures to ensure that both seasonal and non-seasonal characters have meaningful roles and cool things to do in the game. The current model reinforces the way a lot of players are using some characters as support for their main character at the account level. Seasonal characters serve a similar purpose. So basically, they're making you make a character to serve a purpose for using, your second character. Remember, they kind of put these character models there, and they made it somewhat grindy in a sense, where you had to actually somehow grind your second character almost independently for the most part, and I say almost independently because you could share your stash with each character in the game. Let me continue reading. Similar purposes, facilitating an awesome experience in season through manhunt modifiers. Additionally, seasonal characters also contribute to the overall account progression, which is represented through the power level of the main character. The main character remains the foundation of the account, enabling players to take on challenges at the highest power and difficulty levels. Furthermore, upcoming DLCs will present a chance to take on challenges with your primary character and its corresponding power level. Additionally, only non-seasonal characters will have access to legacy manhunts. Interesting. So basically, you can go play the old manhunts if you wanted to, because they said they were going to go ahead and unlock and open them. So that model of basically locking the manhunts and all that was not, did not necessarily bring maybe the desired intention that everybody would be in a rush and stuff to play it. The grind, I think, for many people is getting tiring. I think that's where we're seeing a lot of the reaction from. A lot of people have thousands and thousands of shade level, and some people are not stopping. Some people probably are aiming for 1 million SHD in this game. But like I said, my argument today is a lot of the groundwork had not necessarily been laid before this seasonal, approach was taken. And this groundwork would have been very sensible a long time ago, because Ubisoft has a lot of account parameters that could have easily streamlined it. Like my PlayStation account, and I think my PlayStation account is connected to my Ubisoft main PC account. They both have similar achievements and all of the above. Like right now, if I fire Assassin's Creed Valhalla on PS4 or wherever, I can get my save progress wherever it is. And I was wondering to myself why they did not do that with The Division. I remember Yannick or some of the developers saying that it was really hard to do. And I'm like, it's the hard work that's going to get you, to where it is that you want to go as a development team, especially with a community that's been with you for a very long time. So my, little, missive this morning is that you wouldn't have to do all of this, say, if, you had basically taken the steps to allow for the community to have a cohesive experience. You can make the community have, a new experience. However, that new experience may be rough to actually swallow in a sense. In other ways, I think, that there might have been really interesting, steps taken over the course of time to allow for the developers just enjoy the content more. Think about those who basically got to shade level 1000 first, or now at high shade levels, and those who are also getting their power level, for their characters up as well, and have already basically reached what is the name of the power level 25 or whatever it is. These people are probably looking and saying, I've already done everything to my main character. Some are excited to basically put the main character aside for now because, there's nowhere for them to go up. But some of them are looking and saying, man, this probably does not vibe with me. So I see okay, a lot of these concerns, they're valid. But where they're coming from, in my opinion, is from past missteps where the developers have not necessarily taken the time to go in and basically, tune the game in a way that, you know what I mean? I don't know if anybody gets what I mean. The game has not necessarily had that support where the community can come together and basically, take on a lot of different aspects of the game. Thanks so much for watching the video. Appreciate you guys' time and audience, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Thanks so much for watching again. Peace out.